Everything you need to start your day. This is Mornings with Al Ferraby on CFAX 1070.
I think in business circles you call it a strategic plan. I think if you're at home and it's sitting on your fridge, it's a to-do list. They're kind of one of the same in a matter of speaking.
Kind of.
Yeah. Lisa Helps is the mayor of Victoria, joining us here at the very latest. And how are you?
I'm well. Sorry to cut in. You hadn't even introduced me yet. The reason I resist the to-do list, I actually get tired of the strategic plan being called a list because a list has no priority around it. A list doesn't say this is most important and then this has to happen and then this has to happen. So what we've done with our strategic plan is created a document that is logical, action-oriented, and outcome-based. And so it is, I guess, a to-do list, but it's how about a to-do list plus?
That's right. Well, we mentioned that in the fact that these are things that should be done, right? Like, and I think that's where the whole idea of calling it a to-do list is. But I know what you're saying too. It's like, okay, you have to sort of prioritize what's the most important thing, and where the money goes, and does it match up with the money that you have? All that comes into play, and all that was discussed all this week, correct?
That's right. And so what we have now is what I would characterize as an innovative, bold, and very ambitious strategic action plan about what council, staff, and the public are going to accomplish together in the next 4 years.
So walk me through it a little bit as to how this process works.
Well, what we did, unlike in the past, so I was very dissatisfied, and I'll be frank about this because I have been before. I was very dissatisfied with the process that took place when I was elected as a councillor. We were basically handed 117 action items that were on some list that had been predetermined by staff and asked to weigh which was most important, which was least important. You can't start with 117 things that are predetermined. So this year we started basically from scratch. We had just all come out of the election cycle. We kind of had heard a lot from the public, and council worked really hard to come up with a draft plan. We then took the draft plan out to the public along with our budget to say, here's what we propose to do, here's the money we propose to spend, and here's how we propose to spend it. And over 3 weeks of consultation, we had over close to 17 or 1,800 people weigh in and give us input. Last year when we did this, we had about 60 people. So we got a ton of input from the public, which means then council needs to come back and take that seriously, which we have. So the plan that's before us and the budget that's before us are really an effort between council and the public to come up with the roadmap.
Okay.
So,
go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, so, that's all about the process. So what is in there? We have 13 strategic objectives, and they're kind of ordered from largest to smallest in terms of scope. So number one, people have said it's not really an objective, it's more of a lens, and I agree, but it's to innovate and lead. And we're going to do that by rearranging somewhat how the city's organized to have less silos and more project-based teams, where we say to a team of staff, here's your project, go deliver it on time, on budget, bring us back the results. We, pat them on the back and say nice work, and then they're off to another project. And what that does is it builds the project management capacity of staff. It exposes staff to a whole bunch of different possibilities than if they were just sitting in the parks department or the engineering department. And it also allows council's objectives to be expedited and move forward. So that's one of the actions under be bold or innovate and lead. Other priorities that have risen to the top, and these won't be surprising, are to create prosperity through economic development. And that's something that I'm leading the charge on, and you'll see an announcement next Monday. That focuses on downtown vacancies, jobs for UVic and Camosun and Royal Road students when they're done, all manner of things that really will create prosperity. And then the other side of that, of course, is make Victoria more affordable. We see a crisis on our streets right now. So those are just three of the objectives. We don't have much time, but it's the thing I like about the plan, and I think the thing the public should watch very carefully, is each item has an action and a year that the action is supposed to start, and an outcome in the year that that outcome is supposed to be delivered. And I am asking the public to watch us carefully and to hold us accountable and make sure that we're doing the things we said we would do.
Okay. And obviously, this list, I mean, it's going to be finalized at council tonight, for example, but it's all encompassing, and it's anything from the amalgamation question to replacing renovating projects to things like property tax increases, Lisa. All those things are part and parcel of what you're talking about, correct?
Correct. Well, the property tax increases are. The plan does not say increase property taxes. The plan says that by 2018. And again, it's a 4-year term, and I think one of the things that people might feel frustrated by, and I want to keep reminding everybody, is, you said this and you said that, and we have 4 years to get done the things that we all said we'd be doing on the campaign trail. Mm-hmm. One of the outcomes of create prosperity through economic development, by 2018, we have an outcome to have businesses and residential taxpayers perceive tax levels to be fair and reasonable. Okay. So that's an outcome. So if we do economic development well, if we grow our tax base, if we grow our businesses, we don't need to increase property taxes more than the rate of inflation. And that, quite frankly, that's what I'm aiming for. Okay, because all these things too, we got to weigh into, other things like, what was promised during an election campaign, et cetera, and you want to ensure to those that are out there that are taxpayers in the city of Victoria, their tax money is being spent wisely and properly. That's fair to say. Wisely, properly, and prudently. And, anybody who is in business wants to make sure that the value that they're receiving for the dollars they're investing is high. And that, I think, is the difference between what people will see going forward, compared to what people have seen in the past. We are actually delivering value, and we've delivered value in the past, but we haven't measured it. So people have, just paid their property taxes, but they haven't really said, we've gotten this, and this. And the way we're doing our budget, it says we're spending this money, and this is what you're going to get for it. And I think that that's a very, very important change going forward. Okay, more to come tomorrow on this for sure. The Mayor, Lisa Helps of the City of Victoria, joining us. Thank you, Mayor Helps. Thanks. Have a good day, Al. You bet. 8:58. News next here on CFAX 1070 Radio.